everybody, and welcome to my Gameweek 37 team selection video. This is well, and I'm recording on the morning of Friday the 16th. Okay. Please note that today is a Friday deadline. Yes. So the most important games: United versus Spurs. Sorry, United versus Chelsea today. Aston Villa versus Spurs today. And it's important because a lot of people are looking at captaining either Ollie Watkins, even triple captaining them. So make sure you lock your teams. Watch out for any late leaks, if any. And with this video, what I aim to do is provide you with some helpful information, some press conference quotes from Thursday, which I thought were quite relevant, and stats, which I posted on as well. In addition to just talking about my team. Let's quickly talk about what happened in Game Week 36. It was a red arrow after a while. I fell from 300k to 360k, which is pretty much made the season a write-off if it wasn't already. Munoz got 11-pointer. Ruben came in with a 9-pointer, but I didn't have Boomer, who everybody else had, and he was captain where he got the assist. So that's where I lost out, where everybody had about 52 points. I got 40 points. I didn't have Boomer. Outside of that, things went all right. Rogers and Livermore are both on the bench. Actually, a little learning here was that when it comes to defenses, teams that have something to play for is a lot more important than teams on the beach. And when it comes to attack, maybe teams on the beach are slightly better than teams that have something to play for because they might be tighter up. So there's a greater probability of 3-3, 2-3 kind of scorelines if teams have nothing to play for and they're just going for it. Whereas teams that have something to play for probably will tighten up, not exhaust their energy, and try to make sure they keep a clean sheet. So just learning for the future. That's about it. I've got 2 free transfers and 0.5 million. And I have a triple captaincy in hand as well, which is going to go either to Ollie Watkins this week or Bukayo Saka next week, as things stand. Now, let's talk about the press conference quotes. Okay, very quickly. Just going to this bothering me right here. Delete this. Yeah, perfect. Much better. All right. So, press conference quotes from Thursday. This is important from Ange because we want to know what kind of a lineup he's playing. Because, as my friend Baker rightly cited, the difference in quality, Spurs have about 15-20 players of the same quality. And then, if Davies plays, it's a big drop off in centre back quality. And we saw that because Crystal Palace carved them open. They had 3.8 odd XG, 8 big chances, and that's outside of the offside goals. Like, didn't rant about it here, but Muna should have had 18 points, Star should have had 15 points, and Matata should have had 12 points. It just didn't happen because that was how the dice rolled. It was quite crazy. If you haven't seen the highlights from that game, I recommend we watch it because that game could have been anything Palace wanted to be, like 6-0, 7-0. It could have been that kind of a scoreline. But this is what Ant said in his press conference quotes. He says, when you're making 7 to 8 changes in a team lineup, throwing players together, it is very difficult for them. Even within that context, I still felt we could have performed better on the day, collectively and individually. That's a challenge for the players to try and seize the opportunity that's before them. There's a game tomorrow. He's talking yesterday about the game today, where we want to try and perform well, pick up a result, but also an opportunity for them to put their name forward for the big game the following week. It's an opportunity for them to put their name forward for the big game the following week. So I wonder if he's trying to imply that he might still field the second string kind of guys, and maybe somebody like Van de Ven maybe plays 45 minutes at max because he's been protecting him. He's not played more than 45 minutes in the last X number of weeks, last 2 months, I think. As we've already seen in the past couple of weeks, as much as you'd like to think there's a sort of ideal lineup, things happen and players will have to be ready for that. Tomorrow night is an opportunity for those guys to put their hand up. This makes me wonder if he's implying here that there's a sort of second string team being played, which makes me lean towards, okay, maybe I should play the Watkins triple captaincy. Another thing is we'll see. Got to look at training today, and like I said, it's a bit of a balancing act. We tried to navigate that last week by protecting a few, which we had to, and it still didn't work out. So we still lost a player. I'll take all of that into consideration. See, all of these are hints that maybe he's not going to play the strongest lineup, or at least it's going to be a mix and match or 45 minutes. So make of the quotes what you may. I gave you my interpretation of this, but I leave it to you in terms of what you think and whether we should go for Ollie Watkins triple captaincy. Some other important quotes. Arsenal have a home game against Newcastle, which is why we were thinking of whether we should bench our Arsenal defenders or play Isak or something of that sort. The important thing is That Rice, Trossard, and Kaya training. The most important thing is Rice's training, which gives them better solidity and stability defensively, you think? Also, from a Watkins triple captaincy point of view, you would have wanted Yuri Tillemans fit, but they are not available for tomorrow, and Ramsey suspended as well. Uh, Tillemans steadies this, has been Villa's best player, uh, but Onana helps them defensively. Tillemans is just very important to their offensive game. That's at Spurs as Spurs, you know. So what sort of game to expect? Like I'm sighing and oohing because I'm debating whether I should triple captain all this week or go for Saka or somebody else next week. You know, and I can do a who cares Hail Mary because at 350 odd K, doesn't matter. All right. And this is what Amarim said about the players. He said that if there's a player that can get injury, it is and is not recovered for the game and can put and be on risk in the final, he will not play. So, likes of Mazuari, I don't expect him to play. But if it's not that situation, we'll have a lot of time to recover. And his point is that we can't go cold. We cannot spend 8 days, 9 days without a game. This is a bad thing for the final. So we have to prepare for the game, which I agree with. So I'm expecting like a lot of the first teamers to get 45 minutes, 55 minutes, 60 minutes. Just some relevant stats which might help you guys with your decision making, which I thought was important. These are all from Fantasy Football Scout. Shout out to them. If you haven't become a member already, do click on the link in the description below. So Watkins averages 13.7 minutes per FPL points, which is second only to Isak amongst forwards. So when he's on the pitch, he's bleeding points, and now he's getting points, and he's against Forest. He's against Spurs at home. Just an interesting stat: no team has conceded fewer big chances than Southampton the last 4 games. That said, now that I feel like this is something Zoff mentions, that now that they've achieved the status of not being the worst team in the league, maybe they loosen up. Just amusing, so thought it was worth sharing. Marco Silva says that his team conceded a lot of goals on set pieces, and they play now Brentford. So Vissa, Bumo, Shada should all benefit from set pieces. I just wanted to point that out. That game is Brentford's last home game as well, so I'm expecting goals in this game. I'm without Bumo, but I'm expecting goals in this game. This is the stat that I was talking about. Glasner's side picked up 23 shots, 8 big chances, 3.29 xG against Spurs last game. And this is outside of the goals ruled out for offside. And that Mateta shoulder offside was ridiculous. It shouldn't have been an offside. That Munoz to Sar goal, which was the first one, should have stood. Munoz finished the match with 3 shots, 6 penalty box touches, and 3 chances created. Now you know why us on the FPL Wire were so big on Munoz and Gameweek 1. He's turned out to be one of the best picks in the game right now, and we kept talking about his attacking him. It just took a while to settle because he was playing with Sar, who was new on that wing, compared to Olise last season. Man, what a player. A learning maybe for next. All right. Pep on whether Marmoush and Haaland can play together. He said they can play together. And the good thing, this is important for Marmoush owners, he says that maybe he should have played more minutes because the fact that his creative, you close to the box is really important. Pep admitted that Marmoush should have played more minutes in this game. Guardiola mentioned that he played Foden and Rico Lewis in the game against Southampton because of their ability in small spaces. So you'd hope that Bournemouth doesn't require people in small spaces. So you're expecting Haaland, maybe Marmoush to play. You're expecting De Bruyne to play. And Marmoush, City had so much possession, but they had only 26 shots, 0 big chances. What do I expect in the final, and then what do I expect in the game after that? Worth noting that the game against Bournemouth is not an easy game and it's still very important for City because they still haven't qualified for Champions League, so they will play a strong lineup. So I think De Bruyne should play. I wouldn't sell them this week. And I wouldn't bench them this week either. If you're buying or selling them for Watkins, if you're doing it as a thing to fund Watkins, I don't mind it because I think captaincy is important. And I think Watkins and Palmer are the two standout captaincies this week. I thought Salah was the standard captaincy, but everybody in Liverpool is on the beach at the moment. So I don't know how you want to feel about that game. This is what I'm talking about, and this is something that even Slot mentioned in his quote. It's not always easy to win the league with 4 games to go, especially if you have 1 game a week because you have to keep them ready to play. For the ones that won the league as early as we did, know how difficult it is to train the players that have already won the league. So to keep the intensity levels needed in the Premier League. That is what we show today. I hope we see that against Brighton, but I can tell you we will definitely see it against Palace. He's saying, I hope we do well against Brighton, but we're definitely going to be fine for Palace because they've taken the week off, They're in Dubai, Ibiza. There's a Trent farewell happening, and all of them are just chilling on the beach, enjoying life. So I wouldn't captain Salah this week. That's where I am. But he's got a good home fixture against Palace next week, and I think it's a good captaincy option next week. All right. Pedro Neto, just some stats. While Jackson was out between game week 26 to 29, he generated 1.71 XGI and had 9 shots and 9 chances created. That's good data. Pedro played striker. Palmer, in those games without Jackson, in 3 of those games, racked up 1.1 XGI per game. So his statistics without Jackson were really good. It's just that he was in a bad finishing spree, which is why he didn't convert his chances. So, this is a good stat for Cole Palmer owners. That said, Maresca mentioned in the press conference yesterday that he wished he had a proper striker because he thinks he needs a proper striker against teams playing 5 at the back. He wouldn't mind playing a false 9 against teams playing 4 at the back. So, does he change from what he did earlier? But nobody else is there as an option, to be honest. But I think it also means that Enzo Fernandez is a decent option because he should be playing slightly further up because Gusto, James, Lavia, and Cucurella all are fit. So Enzo doesn't necessarily have to play in the double pivot, so he could probably be pushed forward. Just a pun that I had my eye on, but I can't afford him now because Watkins, Rose, and Price is El Khanous. He's done really well in the past few games, and he's got a home game against Ipswich Town this week. He's created 14 chances over the last 6 game weeks, same as Boomer and De Bruyne, and he's attempted 10 shots, with 5 of them arriving in the game against Southampton. And Root mentioned that he's El Khanous is looking to increase his numbers. So if you're looking to downgrade somebody like a Sar and are looking for a punt that is 4.8, everybody's looking at Suchek, but I want to shout out El Khanous because the stats look good. The game against Ipswich at home is a really good one, 4.8 million. Can't do worse. This is interesting, something Pras tweeted and brought to my attention. This is City's cover for the home game against Bournemouth, game week 37. And the entire matchday cover is about De Bruyne, which makes you think, yeah, he should maybe start in the last home game in front of his fans at the Etihad. All right, quickly talking about projected goals and clean sheet odds. Aston Villa are up there, 2.65. Chelsea are also up there, 2.45. So the Premier League have clocked that United are absolutely poor and they might play a rotated team. So these two is why you're thinking Watkins or Palmer for captaincy. Everton have 2.10 against Southampton. That's decent. I'll just give you quick thoughts on each game if there's anything. Aston Villa versus Spurs we've covered at length. I think you play your Aston Villa defenders. I think you play your Aston Villa attackers. I think you captain Ollie Watkins. And you consider triple captaining Ollie Watkins based on news that comes through leaks later in the day. Everton versus Southampton. I'm expecting this is the last home game for Everton. So I'm expecting Ndiaye to play. I'm expecting McNeil to play. They will field a strong team because they don't have much to play for. And this is the last home game. So they will want to go out of this 130-year-old stadium with good memories. So I'm expecting a strong Everton team. If you have Everton defenders, attackers, I think it's a good matchup for them. Brentford versus Fulham. Fulham have conceded goals on set pieces. I'm expecting points for Boomer Wissa. Arsenal versus Newcastle is an interesting one. There was slight murmurs of Isak being uncomfortable and how postseason he's going to have a hernia operation. I want to see what Eddie Howe says in his press conference, but explains why Isak has just not looked his best in the season so far. So that's why I have 2 options. I sell Mateta for Watkins and downgrade Sar, or I directly do Isak to Watkins. But the thing is, I really like Newcastle's last home game against Everton a lot. I think Isak is an important asset to have in that last home game against. I'd expect this to be a slightly tight, cagey affair because Rice is back, so Arsenal are pretty much full strength. So I don't mind playing an Arsenal defender or 2. I don't mind playing Saka. That's where I'm because they're at home. Newcastle are a much stronger team at home compared to away, and this time they're away. Crystal Palace versus Wolves, right? If Crystal Palace win the game in the FA Cup against City, they will be partying. So this is a good opportunity for Wolves assets. If you want to sell your Matetas and Sars of the world, I'm not against it. I think Munoz will play, and I think Munoz is the best defensive pick in the game anyway. So don't worry too much about that. But if you want to sell your other Palace assets, I don't mind it. Cunha should start. That's where I am. Chelsea United we've spoken about. West Ham, Forest. Forest still have everything to play for, but they're defensively pretty poor. So I think Bowen assets should do well. But this can be like a draw or a 1-2 sort of a game. Leicester Ipswich. Jamie Vardy's official last game. He's not playing in Gameweek 38. So people that are looking to punt on Jamie Vardy, it's been confirmed that he's playing in 37 and that's his last game for Leicester City. That goal is nailed on and I'll be cheering for him. Brighton Liverpool. Liverpool are on the beach. So this game could be anything. Nobody knows. Like I'm expecting Brighton to probably win 3-2, 2-2. They've done well against Liverpool recently. And City versus Bournemouth. Again, an important game for City. Play their assets because European Champions League qualification is still important for them. Now, whether I triple captain Ollie Watkins or Bukayo Saka, I think Watkins has a higher ceiling in this week. But that 75 minutes worries me. And he's not on pens because Asensio could be on pens. McGinn could be on the pitch and could be on pens. Saka has got Southampton, and I think Southampton won't be as cagey in Game Week 38. That's tempting. So this is going to go down last minute. If I get murmurs that, Spurs are definitely playing a second choice sort of team and the likes of Ben Davies, etc. bench, I think I might just give the triple captaincy armband to Ollie Watkins. So what are my potential moves? It's pretty simple. I want to get Watkins. So I either do Isak to Watkins if there are this bad news about Isak today. I don't expect it. I think they will play him through and then the operation will happen, if at all, after. And these are hearsay rumors, nothing official. Or I do Mateta to Watkins, which is funded by either Sar to Enzo Fernandez, 4.7. It would have been El Canus if it was 4.8. So I do either Sar to Enzo Fernandez, I think decent Chelsea option, or I do Bradley down to Michael Keane if because Keane is playable this week, and especially if who's ruled out? O'Brien is injured and ruled out this week. So that's where these are my potential moves. I'll be leaving it late tonight. Triple captaincy. I think it's tight. I think it's 60% on Watkins, 40% on Saka, based on what I hear. But these are the two options that I'm looking at right now. Unless you see something and then you want to do something rogue next week. Shout out to Sleeper as well. They've been supporting throughout the season. Good luck to people that are in the top 10 because there's a PlayStation to win. And there's 8 jerseys that we're giving out outside of our monthly giveaways as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck and happy punting. Take care, guys.